Okay, guys, be honest. What are you doing to prepare? Have you built your bunker? How many years worth of food do you have put away? Have you bought any gold bars? I swear, if you watch these gloom and doom channels, that's what we're supposed to be doing. It's crazy. Hi guys, Dawn here, and I am getting ready to do my Uber. Yeah, I'm going out early. I'm trying to make up for lost time. You know, I wasn't able to go out last week. I was sick. I'm still sick, but I'm feeling better. I just sound terrible. You know, I've got that lingering cough, but I'm okay. I can do all the things. Well, we just got our first order of the night, and it was a good one. $15 for 7 items. So, and it's 2.3 miles away, so yay. I think it's going to be another good night. Wow. It's always shocking to me to see what people order. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we just dropped off our second order of the night. And yeah, it was another good one. So yeah, it's only 6:30. So we're doing good. Man, these are those $1 million homes. Remember I delivered here last week or the week before, and I had to go home and look it up because I was like, you know, I had never been to this neighborhood. It's just right up above mine, but I've never come up to it, and I didn't realize, you know, how nice these homes were. My gosh. But yeah, they're $1 million homes. Absolutely beautiful. If you're like me, you probably try to avoid watching the news. But unless you bury your head in the sand, it's almost impossible to not see what's going on. If you're online, you're going to find out. Things are looking grim. More so every day. More departments are closing. More businesses. More people are finding themselves out of work. And it's becoming really competitive out there, especially for us older folks. You know, the job market is saturated, and there's just not a lot. Most of the jobs that are out there right now are crap. They're either minimum wage jobs. None of them offer any kind of benefits. But that's why I'm doing Uber. It was one of the very few jobs that was even available where I'm at, you know, and I had applied and sent out resumes, and oh my God, I can talk about that ad nauseum. But nothing, you know, and so I got hired on with Uber. Like, I don't know how many thousands of other people right now are doing Uber. It's incredible. You know, and even when I'm out here doing it, I can see so many other people are parked and they're waiting to do deliveries. It's, yeah, a lot of people are doing it right now because it's one of the few jobs that they hire anybody as long as you can, you know, pass a background check and you've got a reliable car and a driver's license. Oh, it's hot. So yeah, that's what I'm doing for now. I'm doing Uber. I don't want to do it forever. It's certainly not a career, but I'm not looking for a career. I'm 63. I'm just looking to pay off my debts and put some money aside. So, like I said, I have a 2-year plan. I'm hoping I only have to do this for about 2 more years, but you never know. And just since I've been sick this week, it made me realize, you know, that really changes things. Because I couldn't go out when I felt like this. And, you know, anything can happen. Our health is our wealth. And I could get sick tomorrow. Then what? I wouldn't be able to pay off my debts. And I know a lot of other people are in the same position as me. a lot of people are moving into their vehicles right now. You see that a lot if you're online, especially on YouTube. It's very common, and it's not always ideal, but for some people, it's the only option. And hopefully, it's just temporary. But you got to do what you got to do. It's better than being homeless, you know. Some people are doing it just to save money. They don't want to spend the like $2,000 a month on rent, because that's what it out here in Southern California it is. So I totally understand that. And some people don't want roommates, because I've suggested that at the beginning. It's like, well, get a roommate. Not everybody wants a roommate. I get that. So, you know, it's preferable for some people to just live out of their vehicle. I've seen people living out of smart cars, those tiny little clown cars. You know, it's amazing what people will do if they had to. So, you know, it's just an option, but it's crazy what the world's come to, that there's so many of us, you know, so many of us that probably did not think they would be in this position that they're in, that I'm in. I know I didn't. This was not my vision. You know, we were set to retire like normal people, you know, I thought, and at a reasonable age, you know, but then life happened and it, you know, put us on a detour. So we're just rolling with it. And just like a lot of other people are, they're just rolling with it, you know. And I get some critical comments once in a while from people that are just flabbergasted that I'm in this position. And it's like, you know, not everybody understands. But most people are cool. They realize, you know, it's just life. It happens to the best of us. Even those who had lots of money and saved and did all the things right. Life can happen, you know. So don't be haughty, because, you know, even if you're doing well now, you don't know. And especially with the way things are going in the economy, which from one day to the next, we don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, and the changes that are happening might affect you. Even if they're not affecting you right now, you might be in a great position, but you just don't know. And so yeah, be kind. Don't you know, shame people that aren't as fortunate, because I know a lot of hard-working people that have done everything right, and now they find themselves in the position where they had to come out of retirement. Maybe they've had to sell everything they own and downsize or move into their vehicle, but they're not asking anybody to pay for them. They're doing it themselves, you know. They deserve your respect, not your shame. And I see a lot of people out there doing that now. And I appreciate them, the ones that are they have channels and they're showing how it's done, because, you know, they're letting other people know who might find themselves in the same position that, you know, there are options. There are things you can do. You know, some people would literally just curl up and die. And then, you know, some people pull themselves up by the bootstraps and do what they got to do. And I'd like to think I'm one of them. So yeah, ever since I started this YouTube page, our channel, it's shocking to me how many other people in my age group find themselves going back to work. It's very common, you know. And it used to be most people could retire comfortably on Social Security and a little bit of savings. It was doable, especially if there was two Social Security checks coming in, you know, if you were married. But it's not like that anymore with the economy the way it is and the price of eggs and gas and all the stuff. It's almost impossible. You have to have a savings. You have to be able to supplement, you know, your Social Security checks. But I do see people living on just Social Security, you know. And I had uncles that lived out here that did it. They lived in, you know, not the nicest trailer parks, but they did it. And they had no savings, and no car, nothing. My mom used to have to pick my uncle up and take him shopping and stuff. It was her brother, but he did it. And this is in Southern California. No, that's not a good one. No, thank you. Too far. But yeah, so, it's not ideal, and it's getting harder and harder, especially in, today's economy. But, if that's all you got, you got to figure out a way to get by on it. But I mean, when rents are the average rent, like an apartment, a single apartment out here, a one-bedroom apartment goes for $1,800, just a little basic apartment. So yeah, it sounds impossible, especially when I guess the median Social Security check is between, I think, $1,700 and $1,900 a month. It's like, how is that possible? Well, you can't have any debt at all, and you probably have to have roommates, or get into one of those subsidized apartment complexes. I don't know, a mobile home. I don't know what they're all doing, but I do see it happening. But I think even that's going to get harder and harder to do. It's a bad time to be doing that. If we were doing this a few years ago, it wouldn't be so scary. But right now, trying to do this, it's scary because there aren't jobs for, older people like me. The job market is flooded. Like I said, all these businesses are closing, and, they're cutting out departments and all this stuff. And all those people are back out in the workforce with me, and it's competitive, and we're competing for the same crappy minimum wage jobs. There's no cushy jobs. We were lucky. We had some cushy jobs, and it's not like that anymore. So, but I still feel grateful, and I feel like we're fortunate, and we live in Southern California, and I still feel that way. And I get people like, yeah, you gotta leave Southern California. People hate you either love it or hate it. Obviously, I love it. I'm here to stay. I get a lot of hate from people that just think California should just fall off into the ocean. But, to each his own. I think all states have their beauty, and the politics, they're up and down in every state. And that doesn't really make a big difference to me. What matters to me is the weather and the scenery. What does it have to offer? I don't want to live out in the boonies somewhere. I do live in the boonies. But you know what I mean. I live in the foothills. I live away from the big city. We don't have a lot of department stores and stuff like that. We have to drive down. But that's okay, because I don't want to live in that part of the city. I want to live in a quieter area. It's like 20 minutes away to get to that stuff, and that's fine. That's how I prefer it. I don't want it right here where I'm living and where we're raising our family and stuff. I can go to it. But yeah, I just want to know that, wherever I live, whatever state I live in, it's got to have some amenities. You got to have some lakes and rivers and, some outdoorsy stuff. I'm an outdoorsy enthusiast, and I've got to have all that. And we have that in spades here. We've got Yosemite, and we've got the Sierras, and, the Pacific coast. And, it's beautiful, and I love it. Some people could care less about it, and that's fine. I love it. And, but I bloom wherever I'm planted. I lived in Nebraska, and I loved it. I lived in Pennsylvania, and I loved it. I lived in Dallas, Texas, and that was okay. It was just dry. It was very dry. A lot of money. A lot of people had money down there. Not me, but there was a lot of money, a lot of oil and stuff like that. I bet if I had money, I would have liked it, because there were some fancy homes and stuff, but I wasn't on that side of the track. So, I don't have good memories of it. But Anyway, well, it's 2 minutes to 8. I was gonna give it to 8. I got 3 orders. I was hoping to get 4, but we did okay. I'm gonna pop these Tylenol that I've been holding, and then we're gonna go home and I'll finish this there. Well, I can't believe you didn't say anything about my hair. Really? What do you think? I got up this morning. I told you in the last video I was going to do it. But I got up this morning and I took a shower. I got out of the shower and I looked in the mirror and I was like, it's got to go. I'm done. When I get like this, it's like I just, I grabbed the scissors and I just started doing like Edward Scissorhands, man. I was just chopping all over. No rhyme or reason. I just, you know, but it's okay. I think I'm going to actually take some more off. I just layered it and I actually cut a lot of the length off, believe it or not, especially in the back. But um, I have to curl it. And I don't like having to curl my hair. I wanted more of a wash and wear style, but I just don't think there is one for me with my hair. There is no wash and wear unless I just want it to look like a bog witch. But maybe it'll hold the curl for a couple days. Anyway, I'm tired. I'm rambling. I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you guys again for watching, and I appreciate all my new subscribers and my old subscribers. Thank you so much. All I ask of you guys is your complete, undying devotion. No, if you could just occasionally give me a thumbs up, leave a comment. It helps with the algorithms. It gets my channel, pushed out more, and um, it helps me be monetized, and I can actually do this as a full-time job. Right now, it's making my car payment, which is amazing. I feel very fortunate. But yeah, maybe we could do a little more with it. So yeah, if you give me a thumbs up and you share it and whatnot, that helps me tremendously. So I really appreciate that. And yeah, let me know what you want to see. I'm open, if there's other things you want to see. I'm doing classes. I have to email a couple of you tonight. I'm sorry I was supposed to email you earlier, but I will email you. We were gonna have class on Monday, but it's Memorial Day. I didn't realize that. So hopefully you guys are fine with doing it Tuesday. Let me know. Otherwise, we'll reschedule for the following Monday. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So anyway, I'm going to let you guys go, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. What was that? Sound like Darth Vader right now. God.